What is going on, everyone? This is the beginning of a new and very special series on Jabo. I'm your host, Brendan Bryan. Let's get started. So if you don't know, it is playoff time for the NASCAR Cup Series, a 10-race showdown between the best drivers in the series where only one emerges as the champion. It is high in intensity and competition that pushes the very best to the limit. That's great and all, but what about the drivers who did not make the show? And not just the drivers who barely missed, but the worst of the worst. What do they have to race for? Well, let's give them something to race for. This is the Clunker Showdown. It is the playoffs, but for the worst of the worst in the series. To advance, you don't win, you lose. To lose here is to succeed, but to succeed is failure. You got that? It's time to reward the unrewardable in a 10-race showdown to decide who is the ultimate clunker. This showdown is set up the same as the playoffs for winners. 4 rounds, the first 3 rounds are 3 races each, with the final race being a loser-takes-all race. Last place finishers are equivalent to wins that reward -5 clunker points, DNFs give -1 clunker points, and points finish at the end of the regular season that gives out negative clunker points for the bottom 10 drivers in the point standings, with last place receiving -15, then -10, -8, -7, -6, and so on to -1 for the 10th worst in the standings. To qualify for the showdown, you can't be a part of the playoffs because who needs their pretentious winning ways? A last place finish automatically qualifies you for the showdown, while the rest of the spots are determined by the lowest in the point standings. To advance in the showdown, you gotta clunk, by either finishing last in a race, which acts as an automatic bye to the next round, or score fewer points than the top 4 drivers. And if you decide to actually win a race, you're automatically banished from the showdown because no terrible clunker would ever see themselves doing such an ungodly act like winning. The objective is to suck and clunk, all the way to Phoenix, where the worst finishing car will be forced to take the J.D. McDuffie Cup, which is literally just a cup. You don't deserve a trophy for this. Seriously, mad respect for J.D. McDuffie. He raced for 27 years in the Cup Series, recorded 12 top 5s, 106 top 10s, led 162 laps, won 1 pole award, which is his only career blemish, DNQ'd 101 races, DNF'd 295 times in 653 starts, which is an astounding ratio of 45%, and did all of this by never finishing on the lead lap. He is the unchallengeable standard and what every clunker should achieve to be. But only one can do it this year, so let's take a look at your clunker contestants. Your number 1 seed with -28 clunker points is Rookie Disappointment from 2311 Racing. Give it up for Riley Herbst. He tied for a series high 3 last place finishes, finished second to last in points, led the fewest laps out of any full-time driver at 1, is one of only 2 drivers with 0 top 5s or top 10s, and both of his teammates made the playoffs. Beautiful work from Herbst. Your number 2 seed at -27 clunker points and clunker title favorite. It's Mr. How You Still Gotta Ride, Cody Ware. He scored only 1 last place finish in the regular season, but finished 109 points behind Riley Herbst to finish last in the points. He has the worst average finish by over 3 positions, the fewest races finished on the lead lap, has 0 top 5s, 0 top 10s, and tied for the most DNFs at 7. He will be hard to lose to this year. Your number 3 seed at -20 clunker points is the 3rd-year driver for as many teams. It's Noah Gragson. He finished 3rd worst in the standings, is tied with a series high of 7 DNFs, scored 1 last place finish, led the 3rd fewest laps, and has the 3rd worst average finish in the series. He is quiet but a formidable clunker. Your number 4 seed at -19 clunker points. It's Shane Van Gisbergen's Leftovers. Give it up for AJ Allmendinger. He is tied for the most last place finishes on the year at 3, which is accompanied by 4 DNFs, and has led the second fewest laps in the series at 4. He is a volatile pick that can sink low or escape this hellhole. Your 5 seed at -12 clunker points is the actually up-and-coming and talented prospect that still gives us a good clunk. Mr. Blown Motors himself, Carson Hocevar. He comes into the showdown with one last place finish, the 7th worst average finish, and tied for a series high 7 DNFs. He is a sink or swim contestant that may have too much upside, but his engine builders may keep him in the game. Your 6 seed at -11 clunker points is someone with a sweet last name but is sour on the track. It's Cole Custer. He comes in finishing 4th to last in the standings, 4 DNFs, 4th worst average finish, and the 4th fewest laps led. He is a favorite to plummet to the final 4 at the end of the season. Your 7 seed at -11 clunker points is Mr. Wreck the Car himself, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He enters the showdown finishing 8th to last in the standings, 1 last place finish, and 3 DNFs. He started the season with potential and consistency, but Carson Hocevar stepped up and sent Stenhouse back to the well as he enters the showdown as a dark horse contender. Your 8 seed at -11 clunker points is Please Don't Push Me, Brad Keselowski. He enters the showdown with 1 last place result and 6 DNFs. He began this season at peak clunker form but has started to improve and perform as of recently. Can Brad find his inner clunker and sink low this showdown? Your 9 seed at -7 clunker points is the bracket buster himself, Ty Dillon. He enters the showdown finishing 5th to last in the points but only scoring 1 DNF on the season. For shame. He has the potential to make it far in the showdown, but will his lack of clunker points keep him from achieving his true lack of potential? Your 10 seed at -7 clunker points is My Dad Drove This Car Poorly Too, Todd Gilliland. He enters the showdown finishing 6th to last in the series, and he holds a pair of DNFs. He was expected to lead this team for a possible playoff push this year, but he knew better and now sets his sight on the ultimate goal, clunking. Your 11 seed at -7 clunker points has clunked so hard he's got no ride next year. Give it up for Daniel Suarez. He enters the showdown finishing 10th to last in the point standings and 6 DNFs. He has promised to win a race by the end of the year, and that's just disgraceful. Only true immortalization comes with becoming a clunking master. Your 12 seed at -7 clunker points is How Did I End Up Here? It's Eric Jones. He enters the showdown with 1 last place finish and 2 DNFs. However, his team, Legacy Motor Dud, is trying to be good. You cowards, you know who you are. Your 13 seed at -7 clunker points is I Made Poor Career Choices, Kyle Busch. No violin. This might be Busch's only chance to actually win anything these days. He enters the showdown with 1 last place finish and 2 DNFs. He has spent over a decade at the top, but now needs to realize his true potential and become the best at being the worst. Your 14 seed at -6 clunker points is he's actually worse than Corey LaJoie, Justin Haley. He enters the showdown finishing 7th to last in the standings, while also acquiring a pair of DNFs. He led the last race of the regular season down the back straightaway on the final lap, but like a good clunker, he choked that away to chase the ultimate prize. Your 15 seed at -6 clunker points is I'm really the best in this bad situation, Zane Smith, finishing 9th to last in the points while achieving 4 DNFs. He is actually decent in front row motorsports equipment. Well, too bad. You're here just like the rest of us, and the only way out is to clunk. Finally, your 16 seed at -1 clunker points is How Did My Career Come to This? It's John Hunter Nemechek. He was a prominent clunker a year ago, but now has improved as he only has scored one DNF this year. Disgusting. Blah. Nemechek is going to have to reach deep inside to return to his prime clunking form for this showdown. There it is. That is your Clunker Showdown field. Michael McDowell was the first driver to miss out by 24 points, while Ty Gibbs, Ryan Preece, and Chris Buescher missed by wider margins and miss out of actually doing something this year that's actually important. Every week, I'm going to post a video to update the standings as we follow these brave 16 souls down an inevitable but immortal road of suckery. With that being said, let's take a look at how these drivers fared at the first race of the Clunker Showdown, the Southern 500 at Darlington. This was a weird and chaotic way to start the showdown. The playoff drivers performed generally like clunkers, while the clunkers performed like playoff drivers. 8 clunkers scored 22 or more points. For shame! Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, and John Hunter Nemechek are now below, or is it above, the cut line. Regardless, shame on you, Busch. You know better. The 4th driver below the cut line was the biggest disappointment of the night. The number 4 seed at negative 19 clunker points is now 1 below the cut line. AJ Allmendinger, how could you do this to me? Only 4 drivers remain at negative points in the round. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ty Dillon, Riley Herbst, and Cody Ware. Further, Cody Ware was the only driver to DNF among the clunkers, while the supposedly good playoff driver, Josh Berry, hogged up the last place spot, robbing Ware of a last place finish. Here are the standings leaving Darlington and entering Gateway. Ware is 45 above, or is it below the cut line? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Herbst 38 above, Dillon 23, Stenhouse also 23, Custer at 17, Gregson 16, Haley 15, Suarez 14, Keselowski 8, Hocevar 3, and Smith at 1 above. While Allmendinger is 1 below, Busch -4, Jones -17, and Nemechek at -19. Ugh. So there you have it, everyone. This is the beginning of the Clunker Showdown. It is going to be a disappointing race for the bottom over these next 10 weeks. Please let me know your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. Thank you so much for listening. I'm your host, Brendan Bryan, and I will see you all again next time.